years so far.
Yeah.
He took a while to adjust his play into the very aggressive meta, but we have seen him do that somewhat. A bunch of the mech builds have caught him off guard because he is such a reactive macro Protoss, and sometimes you can't play like that. I think there's a decent chance that INnoVation will end up going mech here some today. Now, has stats gotten better against this style of play?
All right, game one is ready. We're going to go to Kings Cove. INnoVation versus Stats starts now.
Reciprocity, INnoVation. Splice, Stats.
Right. I'm excited to see what INnoVation has for us. Not as much with stats. I think he can kind of just open in a statsy way.
INnoVation is the last hope. Oh, Jason loves INnoVation. I agree. I agree with Jason there.
You love INnoVation as well?
Well, we got him, man. He's the last hope for the humans.
Yeah.
This is it.
Well, that's something that has happened to him.
This is one of those twists you might not have thought was coming. He's more into support for INnoVation. 55th live GSL.
Happy
On your
birthday.
30th, happy birthday.
Yeah.
30 years old, the dirty 30.
Yeah. That's a big community guy right there.
Yeah.
Creighton. Congratulations. Happy birthday.
The 30s are better than the 20s, by the way.
Oh, my God.
They
they're
are so much better. They're so much better.
I almost wish I could have just slept through my 20s and just woke up as a 30-year-old.
Oh, I pretty much slept through my 20s as it was, so. 30s is the age where you can get upset in a restaurant and people are actually worried and like, oh, sir, we're sorry. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Whoa, I'm not. Wow, okay.
That's how Tasteless uses his 30s. That's why he likes it so much. Getting upset in restaurants.
I'm a real
like,
church
sir,
service.
sir, we're going to have to ask you to leave Taco Bell.
Excuse me, I'm 34 years old. But yeah, guys, to what we were saying earlier, this might be the one twist you never saw in the sci-fi movies, is that the aliens just won. Okay, we might be just nothing but Protosses and a Zerg here in a round of 8.
Did you ever see that alien invasion movie? I think it was called like Skyline.
Oh, I have not seen that. Is it is it old or is it new?
It's like 8 or 9 years old now. Maybe 10 years old actually. But yeah, it's pretty old. It's really depressing actually because the aliens just win.
Oh really?
Yeah, they eradicate all the humans by the end of the movie.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Straight up GSL Season 2 2019, baby.
Yeah.
Of course the humans were
That's what
going
it
to
was.
lose, guys. How arrogant of you to think the humans would beat the aliens.
Yeah.
All we've been able to do is shoot a car into space, okay?
My gosh. It's true.
So we got the Robo finishing here. 2 more gates coming as well. And we have seen some plays where it used to be that this would start to look like a very passive build from the Protoss, where you're trying to like catch drops, but we've seen a lot more Protosses actually come out and engage and attack in some of these builds.
Yeah.
Terrans have occasionally gotten like a little bit too crazy and greedy, much like us humans can be. And they're not playing it safe, and sometimes you can just come in there and really beat them down.
Well, INnoVation gets a full scout off and sees what is actually a pretty defensive build. If you just open Robo, generally you're going to get your observers out, you go into Colossus in a third base. It's like kind of as safe as you can really get.
Yeah, when I was talking about that, I actually thought he had made the Twilight Council. I thought he was going to blink here as well, but no. Yeah, he's going to play completely passive, stay back.
This is some standard stats stuff here.
And this makes sense. The Colossus as well, it's great against the Marines. You kind of melt any Marine that come forward.
Mm-hmm. Especially on a map like Kings Cove. With this type of build, he's going to make his Nexus pretty soon, and there's really nothing to be afraid of. He gets some decent scouting off. He has Stalkers around to stop things like this drop that's coming in. He'll start his upgrades slowly but surely and get splash damage, like you said. So you put all that together, it's setting you up for the later game.
And Stats, unlike some of the other Protosses, is somebody who really likes to just stay back and kind of defend. He wants you to attack into him because he's probably going to have a favorable trade there. He'll get a little bit further ahead. He's definitely more of a long-term player in the way he likes to develop. So it looks like Stats is more than ready for that medevac drop, and INnoVation, not wanting to overextend, now turns around.
Yeah, I like that he's turned around here. Maybe he'll look for some more ways in. Wants to be careful, though, not to lose that medevac. Now, INnoVation hasn't yet added another command center. Would love to see that out of him pretty soon. I think it's already become somewhat obvious what Stats is doing when he scouted that quick robo. And INnoVation's playing very carefully.
We've got that Raven out. Now, when the push does come, usually the mainline idea that you're wanting to see from the Terran is that you can use the Raven to disable usually it's 2 Colossi. That gives the Terran a moment to actually try to attack and kill the Protoss army, and then usually kill the Colossus as the disable has worn off. Now, the way that Protoss tend to try to counter that is they move out into the map and try to at least initiate the beginnings of a fight, which will then bait out the disables, and then the Protoss retreats back, usually without losing that much, and then is safe from that attack. Yeah. So we'll see if that's how this pans out here. But we've seen this in not just this season, but the previous season of GSL as well.
Very interesting place that he just dropped off those Widow Mines. We'll see if those pay off for him. Now, INnoVation has just been completely consistent with his macro. It seems like he is going to hit a 2-base push, possibly. Okay, there's the 3rd command center, but he started the 3rd command center after the Nexus is done. So it is a little bit late in comparison. Hopefully he can get something done with this pressure. The Raven is a gigantic part of this.
Yes.
Disabling those Colossi is incredibly important.
Oh, good catch there with the Observer to see those Widow Mines out. You can see how this all lines up. Stim just finishes basically a second or two before the possibility of a fight happens. Okay, so he's coming out here now. He's getting those Widow Mines. There was a medevac headed northbound.
He needs to engage like halfway out, like you were talking about, though.
Yeah.
Because these disables, he's not going to be able to stop them. And you're actually, like, there's a possibility you could lose your army, you could lose your 3rd base, something like that, if you don't force them to use the disables earlier.
Yeah,
I'm just a little bit nervous right now. Look at that perfectly placed Raven. Oh my God.
Okay, he's coming in now. Now here come those Colossi. The siege tank volleys raining down. Okay, there's the first disable. Second one now goes down.
Yeah, great disables. He's getting so many good shots, and Stats just falling apart.
I think that's going to be game if he kills this other Colossus. There's a 3rd one up here in the main, but oh, I'm sorry. There's actually 2 up there. I didn't see that one in the upper left for a second.
Yeah. Well, this was just so good by INnoVation. I mean, a strong move, no doubt. I don't think it should have gone this well, though. And I don't think it normally would go this well. If he just runs home...
I mean, this is so much damage.
I feel like he's playing with fire, leaving those siege tanks there with 1 Marine to guard him.
This Marine's got this, don't worry.
Yeah, I guess...
Come at me, bro.
If charge was done, he definitely would.
You know how many drugs I'm on with this stim? I'm so fast. Okay, the fact that he didn't kill those tanks is alarming.
Stats.
Look, he's even moving
really
forward
blind.
without the rest of the army there. He's like, I don't care.
What am I even looking at?
Come
like,
at me, bro.
The thing is, Stats doesn't do anything, so INnoVation will get up here, and I guess that this turned out to be a good move, although I see it as reckless.
Yeah,
look at this. The mine's coming up. His charge isn't done. He doesn't really have that much splash. He definitely has 1 Colossus. I think he might actually have 2 Colossus right now on top of his ramp. There's one. There's one Daddy Longlegs come down. I guess maybe that is all he has.
Okay.
Another disable.
Yeah, this was just an unfortunate game here by Stats. INnoVation just smashed him. Guys, the humans won.
Yeah, I'm a little bit taken aback by the way that Stats played this game. I think that his build order overall and his timing on everything was perfect. And then he saw the Raven early on. He saw the push coming out, and he just ran back. And in that situation, you're going to have a hard time with the disables. Like, you have to start a real fight, and yes, you're going to lose a few units doing that, but then they aren't going to be able to disable all your Colossus and wreck you, you know?
Stats, he's going to have to bring a better game than that. I don't mean to be too critical, but I did not expect Stats to win in a kind of That's a very straightforward attack. I mean, we've kind of seen that throughout GSL. Raven comes out. You try to target down the Colossi, and
both of them played as standard as can be. It's just like the Protoss didn't do a move he needed to do.
The Colossi chased the medevac in the main. I'm like, oh no, this is not gonna go well. Also, INnoVation have really well placed tanks. We're gonna go to Turbo Cruise 84 because why not? INnoVation for stats. Game 2 starts now.
Reciprocity. INnoVation. Splice. Stats.
I gotta give a shout out, by the way, to whatever weird, like, is El Nino going on in Korea? Because we've been seeing the weird maps a lot. Like, what's going on?
Oh, I love that sign. Whoa. We love you guys.
Oh, you're very welcome. 10 years already? Oh my god, I need a new casting partner.
You're going to have to find a younger, hotter caster.
Anyone in their 20s that wants to cast GSL with me, let me know.
Yeah, we've been casting for a long time.
Looking for someone without a beard.
Unless you're rebounding. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Now, even though this map has all these like kind of unique features, we've seen a lot of players sort of play around that. And for instance, we saw
we haven't
the
seen
beeline
these
rush
come into play.
Yeah, we've seen the beeline rush right through the middle. Since even though these things slow you down, it's actually not that far of a travel distance. We've seen proxy barracks. I think we're gonna have to see many more games before we get a real feel for this map.
Yes. Well, we haven't seen a normal game here as of yet.
Yeah.
So just a little SCV scout, checking out what's up. Everything looks normal. INnoVation simply expanding, getting this reactor. Nothing too crazy at the moment.
I'm still waiting for them to make my lava map.
Oh yeah,
we keep joking about that backstage. We gotta have a map that like the lower part fills up with lava like every 2 minutes or something. Just total chaos.
Like that. It used to be thunderstorms though too.
It's like a Mario Party map or something. It's just like we make it random when the lava comes up, so it's like it's never about who the best person is. It's about watching the look on the face of the pro gamer as they lose all their stuff for no reason at all. Gonna chase this Reaper out here. He'll be able to hop down there. And we have the Twilight Council coming here.
Okay.
That's what we're waiting for.
Yeah.
Stats, remember guys, he went for, I think it was 3 gates and a robo. Teched up into Colossus, getting a third base. And he was basically disarmed with a really good timing attack.
Yeah. Well, the thing is all the play was so basic in that game. And I mean, both strategies are okay on King's Cove.
Yeah.
It's so easy to take your third base there. Here it's, I guess, probably a little bit harder. I wouldn't completely know because we barely ever see this map and we haven't seen any normal games yet. But I'm glad to see the Blink opener. It was very surprising to me.
So this is where I can use what I said in the last cast that it might actually mean something.
Oh.
This is, usually we would think of this as a defensive play, but we've seen more and more players actually pop out. He did not get any vision of that, by the way. We see players more and more actually come out and try to blink into the Terran space. If the Terran's getting too greedy, the Blink Stalkers can do quite a bit of damage.
Oh, they definitely can. We've seen some silly things happen. And, like, while taking a third Nexus, you know, you're only making a certain amount of them early on. And,
right.
We'll see if Stats gets aggressive like that. The thing is, you can open with this and play a very defensive game as well, where you just went Blink before your Robo, you know, and you still go into Colossus and all that. But
right.
You have a bit more microability. You can have a little bit more punish in a lot of ways. But you might have to have a bit more finesse when the push comes out. Like, you have to slow it with Blink and things like that.
Yeah. Blink is not the best to slow stuff. It basically
like,
lets you fire
right,
a few volleys and then you get away one time and you're like, all right, I got to go home.
You whittle a few Marines off here and there. You know, it makes a difference over time. Definitely a worthwhile pursuit if you have the APM for it.
Because the third base, okay, this is actually a very good turnaround here for INnoVation. The probe that was making the third spot in this.
Feels like this is the second time we've seen the exact same thing where the medevac comes out 2 mines and then the stalkers just turn it away.
Yeah.
I kind of like it because if he's about to be attacked by the stalkers, he's actually going to get some kills. If not, he just goes home. A lot of Terran players will just be like, oh, the stalkers are there, and then they go into location number 2, and then the stalkers are also there, and they lose the medevac in the mines. But INnoVation is just like, oh, no, okay, you're not attacking me, and I can't attack you.
Okay, so here comes that moment where we might see a blink into the main, but it looks like INnoVation's already kind of preempted this.
Definitely does.
And I don't think either player is going to be able to really injure each other anytime soon here. We see a few stalker shots fired there, but nothing particularly impactful so far.
And now that the stalker's over at his base, you know, the medevac being sent back out again, so maybe he'll still get some damage done with that Widow Mine drop. 2 forges on the way for stats, kind of signaling that he's likely to go into charge. Yep, there it is.
Okay, got to be careful. You don't want to eat too many of those siege tank shots. After you get past the shields, that damage is quite permanent. He looks like he might try to blink in here again. Meanwhile, these medevac, is going to come in here. Looks like one Widow Mine is actually not shot down in time.
Oh, wow. Stats did not see that at all, and that ends up doing a magnificent amount of damage here. Stats instantly and angrily throws up a bunch of gateways.
I'm getting worried here, Artosis. A lot of these stalkers are badly bruised.
Yeah.
I think it's very clear there's going to be a pretty good timing attack coming up here. Stim's almost done, by the way. Again, another shot connecting on that army. Now, Stats looks like he's going to try to rely on these stalkers blinking into the main if and only if the Terran tries to push out through his natural.
Yeah, I guess a lot of things are going wrong for Stats. He hasn't really found anything. He's killed like a siege tank and lost a bunch of probes. That's like the story of this game so far.
Okay, well, this attack is about to happen here. Those gates are finishing up, but is this really going to be enough? We have those 5 stalkers. They will blink out here. Unfortunately, Stim is done. There's no way to deny this. And he's going to recall that back. Now, he bought a little bit of time. Some of the infantry was pulled away.
You know what else is funny is the fact that he's going for this strategy on this map. Range units are just stronger. So, like, if you're in the green bubble, charge is terrible against it.
Oh, that's a good point.
Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe it's not such a big deal that you can't do the strategy that Stats is doing because it is very strong, but it just seems like a weird map. It feels like Colossus might be decent here.
Right. Yeah, it's a very good point with the Zealots being garbage in this area.
Yeah, he has to fight him right there.
He's going to Cheeto dust some of those units. We've got the siege tank sieging up. This creates a divide here between the second and the third.
That is a lot of Zealots right there. And if he gets a 1-1 finish, oh my god. Really well done. The flank of Stalkers is a little bit late. He blinks forward, though. Some good micro here from INnoVation. A really weird force field goes down that's actually blocking a lot of the Zealots.
Yeah, and it looks like there still might just be enough to hold this off. Yeah, and despite all that, you know, Stats crushes through, taking that out, getting his third base up. We don't have a third base yet here for Terran. Oh, excuse me, he's going to be landing that right now.
Yeah.
Nicely done there by Stats. Very patient play.
It was, but I don't think that INnoVation is in a bad place or anything. He reduced the Stalker count quite a bit, I guess. Yeah, he lost some of his units, but that's easily replaceable. The worker count is tied right now, so that's actually very good for Terran.
Yes.
A lot of times in situations like this, in games that in the past that we've considered to be pretty even, you'll see the probes actually well above the SCVs in a situation.
Right.
But yeah, I think INnoVation's still completely fine.
Well, if you notice, INnoVation seems to have more momentum here. He's spiking up in supply considerably more quickly since that fight.
That's kind of how the production generally goes, is you are going to get a higher supply in the mid-game in TVP.
Yeah.
But one thing that I really love as well is we're seeing him produce Liberators already. He's identified what the strategy is. I want to see if he makes 2 more right now. It's kind of important. Where are they?
You're really putting yourself on the spot here, Artosis.
Let's see it. INnoVation.
Okay, small Zealot counterattack. We have a drop inside the main. We only just caught the tail end of that. These Widow Mine hits are beautifully connected with these Zealots. The kiting is continuing to go on as those Immortals are disabled. Meanwhile, it looks like finally that drop is going to be cleaned up.
He just doesn't want Starport units, Staceless.
Yeah.
Just doesn't want them.
He's actually just doing this as spike
There
drill.
it is.
All right.
Okay.
Storm
Yeah, I
is
don't
just
know what
now
that was all
starting,
about.
by the way.
But yeah, this is something that I was kind of critical about with a lot of Gumiho's games this season, where he's playing against this style, right? Where it's like a bunch of gateway units, Storm, maybe some Immortals mixed in there, and you're trying to fight it with just like Marine, Marauder, Mine.
Yeah.
No. You need those Liberators in there as well, and we see that INnoVation is on point with making the Liberators, even though it seems like he missed around there. Maybe a money thing, but Stats coming in now with a little bit of a Zealot drop. Zealot's coming out for some harassment.
Yeah, I like this harass here by Stats. It's kind of like the right amount, you know, not over warping in or anything like that.
Yeah, 5 SCVs, loses a Zealot, keeps him back.
Yeah.
I like it. It's really good.
And now the Liberators are going to try to come in here and get rid of this. And this is just keeping INnoVation back at home. Now, INnoVation is actually getting close to maxing out now. But Protoss is going to have the right tech to hold this off. Storm is key for killing off Terran armies in the late game. When you have huge amounts of them stimmed coming forward, some blanketed storms can make that a piece of cake to wipe out.
Yeah, and he has 2-2 with 3-3 on the way, so that's great as well. But with the Liberators and Ghosts coming into play, with this big supply advantage that INnoVation has, I am still liking his position.
Another War Prism's going to come out. He's going to be continuously making these and sending them across the map.
And the Colossus tech going to be added on now here as well. That's a really important piece of the puzzle here for Stats if he wants to stay alive.
Yeah, Stats is going to, I think just now, take a 4th base. We see that Nexus being made here. And we're waiting for INnoVation to come out with that push, which should be coming any second now, I believe.
Swift pickup right there. Liberators coming, though. Should be able to eliminate this War Prism. Or not.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
Stand corrected. Okay.
Instead.
So, yeah, I mean, Thermal Lance getting upgraded here. We have 2 more Colossi coming out here. We have double Robo now. And it looks like that push from INnoVation should be starting now.
Yeah, he's going to hit his 2-2, and that's going to equalize the upgrades until that 3-3 finishes, so that it becomes basically a perfect time. He's up almost 50 army supply. He's actually got a more full composition at the moment as well with the Liberators and Mines and Ghosts.
Okay, a lot of these Widow Mines coming out. This is so many Widow Mines that you basically have to back off when you see them coming. We're still waiting for some of those side storms to come down. Kind of a weird storm that was, a lot of that was just on the force field.
Yeah. Ends up being a couple very good ones in there as well, though. Looks like a Zealot counterattack going towards that 4th base of INnoVation. He can definitely force a cancel there.
And you can see the Liberators, he's trying to leapfrog that forward so he can just get in range where the Nexus is. The Nexus now taking some damage. A few more Widow Mines come forward a little bit closer to where that is. And it doesn't look like Stats is going to try to save this base. He's going to instead sack it in the hopes that he can win in a later part in this game. But again, I just feel like INnoVation's outgrown Stats.
Yeah, he's definitely doing a really great job here, eliminating that base. Stats doesn't have a whole lot left, but he does have High Templars and Colossus. So when you put all that splash together as well as this 3-3 finishing, if he can kill an army, this is still a playable game. But he does need to, like, kill an army and keep most of his alive.
Yeah, he needs to win in a big fight. Oh man, this has got to be careful going through the green.
Yeah.
The bubbles. The bubs. And, you know, one thing about that feature on this map is it's actually allowing INnoVation to reposition without being contested at all. It goes to show you how hard it is if you get boxed in your base on this map. Look at that. INnoVation's like, I'm going to kill this base now.
Yeah, no stopping him there.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Okay, he does push forward. He has those 4 Colossi, so a lot of damage going down. Great EMP goes off. Looks like only 1 Storm is going to be available. Oh, he EMPs that as well.
Oh, beautifully done.
Yeah. He should be able to just finish him now.
Yeah, that should be the end of this game here. INnoVation 2-0ing Stats. Really impressive stuff. By the way, I feel like this isn't the Stats I'm used to casting, you know?
No. What do I say? Like, I'm kind of disappointed in Stats this year so far in general. Remember last year he was a killer. He was like against Cyril in all the finals. He was supposed to be the chosen one. He was supposed to restore balance and make the Koreans the best again. But so far what we've seen